Hey y'all, welcome to the Convos with Anita Santiago podcast. I am your host, Anita Santiago. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please follow the podcast on all the social media pages. Appreciate if you like, share, review the podcast on the podcast platforms. If you want to reach out to me, you can always reach me at convoscws@gmail.com. Saw a meme online. Y'all know the queen. I'm the queen of memes, and I'm always reading them, saving them, sharing them. And I came across one that was really interesting. I'm gonna read it right here. It says, "Always remember someone's effort is the reflection of their interest in you." I was like, that's pretty interesting. Um, and I agree with that in principle. But I started thinking, me, I'm always thinking on a deeper level. Started thinking about results and effort in our lives. And so, what we're going to be talking about today is, are you putting forth the effort? Are you getting the results because of the effort that you put in? I think this is a really important topic because so many people are frustrated by the lack of results in their lives. Not that they don't have results, but that those results often don't meet the mark as far as the person is concerned. And so many times we hear, your results are proportional to the effort that you put in. And I do believe that's true. I think the results that you see from any given thing that you do, whether it's school, career, um, volunteer work, whatever results you see is reflective of the effort you put in. But I think what we don't talk about sometimes is effort, the effort part. How do you know that you're putting enough effort forth? How do you grow into putting enough effort into something? And I think that starts with self-reflection. As we establish goals, I want to save so much money, I want to save for retirement, I want to work out, I want to do this, I want to do that. We come up with a plan, but what we often don't plan for is the amount of effort that something is going to take. I think we grossly often underestimate the amount of effort it's going to take to achieve a goal. I'll just talk about saving money for a moment because I know that's a goal that many people have. Many people start the new year off with, "Oh my gosh, I want to save for a down payment for a house. I want to do this. I want to save for this. I want to save for a down payment for a car." And they start their year off saying, "Okay, I'm going to save," and they have a plan. But, are the effort of executing the effort you need to execute that plan comes in the consistency of doing something. So if you have this plan where you want to save up money for a particular occasion and you have the plan written out, then the effort comes through the consistency. If you say I'm saving $1 a day, then you save the dollar a day. But where effort matters is when you're challenged and something comes up and now you have to choose between saving that dollar or doing something else. The effort is prioritizing the goal so that you get that dollar saved and you meet your goal for the day, which helps you meet the goal for the longer term. Many people start out doing things and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and they fizzle out because of effort. I have a great book that talks about execution of goals. And when you look at some of the CEOs of some of these big companies, Richard Branson, and some of the other CEOs, the amount of effort that they put into ideas and running their companies is phenomenal. Like, it's significant, it's mind blowing. And this occurs all the time. And that's why the companies grow and do well, because you have someone that's constantly putting that effort forth. So in our personal lives, bring that back down to our level and a little bit more relatable. We have to search for the energy and the time and the commitment to produce the effort that's required to accomplish the goal. So let's take a step back, and I want you to think about a goal that was really, really important to you, something you really, really wanted to accomplish, and you didn't accomplish it. And when you think about it, and when you start taking that situation and looking at it on a deeper level, ask yourself this question: did you put the effort in to get to the goal? I think it's a hard thing to admit when you haven't put the effort in, because honestly, when you say that to another person, oh, or your kids, I'll use parenting. Well, you didn't put the effort into building the blocks, or you didn't put the effort into cleaning your room. What you're really saying is that you're not trying, and you're not putting forth, you're not giving it your all. And sometimes that's a harsh thing to wrap your mind around. Like, when you're doing self reflection and you say, well, I wanted to go to this particular college, but when I was um, taking my classes in high school, I really didn't put the energy into doing my best so that I could get into that college I wanted to. So when you're doing the self reflection and you're realizing that, I didn't put as much into that particular activity as I should have, and the result was I missed the goal, that's a really hard thing to wrap your brain around. But I also feel like the ability to do that type of self reflection is very powerful. When you can sit down and you can look at something, a goal you tried to accomplish, and you didn't accomplish it, and you realize you didn't put the effort in. Now that's information that you can take to improve what you do going forward, no matter what it is. So if I tried to get into a particular college, I didn't do, I didn't put the, I didn't give my all in my classes so that I could do well, so that I could, meet the admission criteria. And I can see, what were the barriers? Was my course load too heavy in high school? Was I not interested? Maybe I didn't even really want to go to college. I just thought it was the thing to do. So I didn't really feel like putting the effort in on the back end. That's all information that you can use going forward, so that you can identify places that you struggle in. And as you identify those places that you struggle in, you can make some tweaks so that those areas don't become an obstacle in the future. I also think effort is something that we may not necessarily emphasize to our kids as they're coming up. I was watching some reels from Japan, and how kids in Japan are raised to be very independent. I think they said by the age of 4, they can cook a meal, they can go to school by themselves, they can do a lot of different things. And, there's some cultural things at play there. But it had me wondering, like, as we are teaching children, do we always teach them to put as much effort into something as possible, or is that limited? And as I was thinking about that, I was like, okay, if a kid is playing football, basketball, running track, doing dance, or any of those things, as parents, playing an instrument, as parents, we emphasize you got to practice, you got to do the things that the coach said or the dance instructor said or the band director said so that you can get good at this. And so when it comes to those type of things, we emphasize effort. But I would argue with you that we need to be consistent in putting effort in everything across our lives, not just those things that we're really interested in. You might not agree with that, but I think that is definitely true. Now that I'm a little older, hint, hint, wink, wink, I can see that, you know, that's a real concern on a daily basis. When you go to work and you do your job, do you put the effort in? I hear people often say, well, my job is this and that, and they this and that, and so on and so forth. But do you put the effort in at your job to get the results that you're looking for so that you can move up or move into a different role? Requires effort. When you are maybe volunteering with an organization, are you really putting the effort into the job or the assignment that you've been given, so that you can get the results out of it? I, I, I know that we emphasize effort when we're doing performance based things, sports, and those types of things, but do we emphasize the effort in our everyday lives? And I think that's a fair question. I think if we want to be more productive, if we want to be more effective, and that's been my theme for 2025. I've been on this um, self improvement, increasing productivity um, space. I've been in that space for quite a while. And I'm looking for all the areas in my life that, if I can improve this a little bit, oh, man, this might pay off big time. I saw another meme that said if you practice something 1% of the day, every day, starting January 1st, then at the end of the year, you will be 365% better at that one thing. So think about that in terms of goals you may have for yourself. If you put 1% effort towards your goal, let's say your goal was saving money, and you did that consistently 365 days, you're going to be 365% better at saving money at the end of the year than you were in the beginning of the year. Wow. If I want to buy a new car, and there are multiple things I have to do. I have to save for a down payment. I have to get my credit to where it needs to be. I have to decide on the car that I want to buy, and all of those things. If I put 1% into that, 1% of effort a day, I'm going to reach that goal. Well, what's my point? My point is that effort doesn't have to be 1,001% every time you do something. It can be a small amount, but consistently done, getting you to the goal. Again, don't have to do 1,001% every time you're putting the effort in, but if you can do a little bit every single day, consistently, just for 12 months, look at how huge that accomplishment is. 365% better at the end of the year, putting 1% effort in. 1%. So I'm going to do, well, I'm not going to do a calculation. I was going to do a calculation on a calculator. Yeah, I can do the math. You have 24 hours a day. 1% of that is what you would need to spend putting the effort into whatever you're trying to accomplish for a goal. When you break it down in terms like that, all of a sudden things become much more doable. I can put that effort in because it's not requiring me to do this huge amount of effort at one time. I can really break this down into small pieces, but doing it consistently to reach the goal that I'm trying to reach. So, for everyone that's struggling with accomplishing goals, it is July 2025. We're 7 months in the year. We've got 5 months to go. If you've not accomplished any goal that you set out to accomplish in January, whether that was losing weight, working out, buying a car, buying a house, saving money, eating better, whatever your goals were, for every goal that you have not accomplished that you said you wanted to accomplish starting in January, you have 5 months. So if you put 1% effort into that goal every day to the end of the year, you're gonna accomplish, you're gonna be 50% better at getting closer to that goal than you were before. The point being is it's never too late to make an adjustment. It's never too late to recalculate, reformulate, revise the way that you want to accomplish the goal. And you can always modify the effort. So if you're starting in July, maybe you want to put 2% effort into your goal every day instead of 1%. Maybe you want to put 5% in every day instead of 1%. You have the ability to determine for yourself what that effort looks like. You know, there's a lot of reels and a lot of podcasts that come across my timeline that tell people what they should be doing, how they need to do it, and so forth. Uh, okay, that's an opinion. But I think if we're going to be honest with ourselves, we need to really understand what works for us individually and do that. I may be very different from you. Effort for you may look very different than effort for me. I can't tell you that you should do things exactly the way I do them because why? You're an individual, I'm an individual. But what I can say is that taking some time to say, you know, this is what could work for me. This is what I can see myself doing consistently, and do that no matter what the opinions of other people are, no matter how people are feeling about what you're doing, and no matter what people are saying to you, because everybody's got an opinion. They're free. They're given out freely. That doesn't mean that you should or must change what you're doing. As long as you're being as long as you're in alignment with your values and how you want to do things and it works for you, then you're going to be more likely to accomplish what you set out to do. I feel like, especially when it comes to things like money management, um, well, all you need to do is put away 10% for 18 years and this, that, and the other, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine financially. That may work for some people and that may not. But maybe your effort is getting a quarter in a jar every day to start becoming a better saver. And that works for you. There's no right and wrong way to do it. I think there's a best way to do it, which is consistent with who you are and what you're trying to achieve. So, effort, a really important concept that impacts a lot of things. Um, Connected to that is consistency, and follow through. And you can make the effort, but if you're not following through, you're not going to get anywhere. So, for example, if I have a goal of saving a quarter every day, I said, oh my God, I'm going to make the effort to make sure I have a quarter at the end of the day, but I never put it in the jar, then I'm still having problems reaching the goal. So, connected to effort is consistency and follow through. If you have not accomplished certain goals for the year, this is my challenge to you. Make a list of those goals, write them down, categorize them, prioritize them. Pick 3 goals. You have 5 months. Start putting in some effort and see where it takes you. Uh, Especially for all the people that start off the new year with new year, new me, I'm going to the gym, I'm working out, I'm going to work out 3 times a week, and you never got traction on it, start today. Put the effort in. Be consistent. Follow through. For people who said they were going to start saving money at the beginning of the year and you didn't get any traction, start today. Put the effort in. Consistency and follow through. And anything else, eating healthy. Maybe that was a goal that you just couldn't, you tried and you just couldn't get traction. Put the effort in. Consistency and follow through. I feel like it's not too late in the year for you to accomplish any goal that you want to accomplish, but it is going to take effort. You're going to have to follow through and be consistent. I'd really like to hear. Send me an email. Let me know how it went. Let me know, um, hey, I started my goals in July, and by the time December came, I really made some headway, and I got further along towards reaching my goal. I really have got this thing down. I want to hear about your success stories. And I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to make sure every day that you're reflecting and asking yourself, challenging yourself, pushing yourself a little bit to say, can I put some more effort here? Can I do a little bit more? And I think you'll find that those goals will start adding up and you'll be feeling really good about what you're accomplishing. So I want to thank you all for stopping by the Convos with Anita Santiago podcast. You know, I appreciate each and every listener. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all coming back for more. I appreciate the shares and the likes and the reviews. It means so much. Again, follow the podcast on all the podcast platforms. And don't forget to leave a review. Follow the podcast on social media pages. Always good things being announced and shared. So you don't want to miss out on anything. So just make sure you're following Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Thanks so much and happy listening.